Good morning, beloved brothers and sisters in Christ. As the sun rises and the world stirs to life, we're reminded once again that each new day is a gifted divine opportunity to begin afresh, to surrender our burdens, and to stand in the presence of a God who still performs miracles. Today, as we gather in spirit and truth for this morning's devotional, our hearts are stirred by a theme that speaks to the very core of our faith journey. Let go and let God every day. There is incredible power in the place of prayer. It is not just a routine, it is a lifeline. It is where the weary find strength, where the broken find healing, and where the desperate find divine direction. Throughout history, and even in our own lives, we have witnessed testimonies that defy human understanding. A mother told her child would never walk, now watches him run across the playground. A man, bankrupt and hopeless, now owns a business that feeds hundreds. A marriage once hanging by a thread, now restored and thriving, all because someone chose to let go of control and let God take the reins. These stories aren't just moments of divine intervention, they are reminders that the same God who parted the Red Sea, who opened blind eyes, and who rolled the stone away from the tomb, is still moving today. He is not a God of yesterday's miracles only. He is present now, and He's working in your story, even when you can't see it. This morning, you may be standing at the edge of a breakthrough, or maybe you're in the middle of a storm so fierce it feels like you're about to sink. But let this truth echo in your spirit. When you release what you've been clinging to, God can release what He's been holding for you. Healing, peace, provision, purpose, restoration. It's all in His hands waiting for the moment you surrender yours. So let your heart be open today. Let your spirit be expectant. Whether you're broken, weary, confused, or just in need of reassurance, this is your moment to lean in, to cast your cares, and to let go and let God. Not just once, but every single morning. Because in doing so, you make room for the miraculous. You make space for heaven to touch earth. Let's enter this sacred moment together. A moment of transformation. A moment of trust. A moment where heaven meets the cries of our hearts through prayer. And as we do, may your soul be lifted, your faith be strengthened, and your life never be the same again. Are you ready? Then take a breath, close your eyes, and prepare your heart because God is about to move. Dear Heavenly Father, this morning I come before you with open hands and a surrendered heart, because I know now more than ever that holding on is what has been holding me back. I confess, Lord, that I have tried for far too long to carry burdens that were never meant to be mine, to control outcomes I was never meant to command, and to lean on my own understanding when what I truly needed was to fall into the arms of a sovereign God. Today, Father, I declare in faith, I am letting go and I am letting you be God. You are not distant. You are not unaware. You see every tear, hear every silent cry, and feel every ache that pulses beneath the surface of my smile. And yet, even with all that you know, you still call me to release unclench my fists, to loosen my grip, to stop wrestling for control and to trust you in a way that shakes fear to its core. Lord, help me to trust not just with my words, but with every fiber of my being. In this sacred morning hour, I lift up every worry, every fear, every ounce of anxiety and uncertainty, and I lay them at your feet. Father, you know the heaviness that comes with carrying too much financial lack, broken relationships, health issues, disappointment, shame, the weight of unanswered prayers. But today, I trade my weariness for your strength. I trade my questions for your wisdom. I trade my timeline for your perfect plan. because you're not only able, you are willing, and you are faithful. I lean into the truth that your thoughts are higher than mine, and your ways are greater than anything I could ever imagine. So I let go of a need to have all the answers. I let go of the pressure to perform. I let go of the fear that whispers, what if God doesn't show up? And instead, I embrace the truth that you already have. You showed up at Calvary. You showed up at the tomb. You showed up in every chapter of my life, even the ones I thought were hopeless. Holy Spirit, come now. Dwell richly in my spirit. Speak louder than the lies. Fill every hollow space with supernatural peace. Where there is confusion, pour out clarity. Where there is torment, release divine calm. Where there is striving, bring holy stillness. Let your fire burn away everything in me that resists surrender. Let your presence be so thick around me today that every step I take echoes the freedom of one who has finally let go. Lord, I let go of bitterness. I let go of offense. I let go of regret and the poison of my past. I let go of the fear of being misunderstood, of not being enough, of failing again. I let go of the identity I built from pain and performance, and I receive the identity you gave me before the foundations of the world loved, chosen, redeemed, victorious. You're not asking me to figure everything out. You're asking me to trust. So I choose trust. Not because it's easy, but because you are worthy. I choose to rise above the noise of doubt and plant my feet on the rock that cannot be moved. I choose to lift my eyes above the storm and fix my gaze on the one who walks on water. I choose to believe that your strength is made perfect in my weakness, and that I don't have to be strong when I'm surrounded by the Almighty. I let go, Lord, not just this morning, but every morning. Let this be my daily rhythm. Wake, surrender, trust, repeat. Teach me how to live in divine flow with you. No longer pulled by fear or pushed by pressure, but guided gently by the wind of your spirit. Remind me that real power is not found in control, but in complete dependence on you. Let every breath I breathe today be saturated with your presence. Let my steps be aligned with divine purpose. Let my voice declare truth and my heart beat with boldness. Because when I let go, I make space for miracles. When I let go, I make room for breakthrough. When I let go, I allow you to be godfully, completely, uncontested in my life. And so I press deeper now into this moment of sacred stillness, not rushing, not reasoning, but simply resting, knowing you are at work in ways I cannot see. Father, this very breath I draw is evidence of your mercy. And so, with that same breath, I come before you not with polished words, but with a trembling heart that only wants to be honest, only wants to be close to you. Lord, I'm tired of pretending I'm in control when everything inside me knows I'm not. I'm weary of the constant tug of war between surrender and self-reliance. I want to live free, God. I want to live with open hands, unclenched fists, and a heart that says yes before I even know what you're asking. I confess that it's hard to let go. So many wounds, so many disappointments have trained me to hold on tight like people, to plans, to the illusion of certainty. But you, Father, are inviting me into something deeper, into a life of holy surrender where trust doesn't require explanation, only obedience. You're not asking for perfection, you're asking for my yes. So here it is, Lord. This morning, I say yes again. Even if my voice shakes, even if my heart races, I choose you. I choose to let go of the pen I've gripped so tightly, trying to write the story myself, and I give it back to the author who knows the end from the beginning. And I can feel it, Lord. In the stillness of this hour, I sense you drawing near. I sense you calling me out of shallow waters into the deep places where faith is forged. I hear you whisper, "Trust me," not because the path will always be smooth, but because you are with me even when it's not. Not because I'll always understand, but because I'll never have to walk alone. That is enough for me. So I release my anxious need to know what's next. I let go of my fear of the unknown, because you are already there. I let go of the lies that have haunted Medho's quiet accusations that say I'm not enough, that I've failed too much, that it's too late for me. I let go of those voices, Father, and I choose instead to listen to yours, the voice that says, I am loved, I am chosen, I am redeemed. Your truth silences every storm. I let go of old identities I've worn like armor people pleaser, performer, perfectionist. They've served me in the past, perhaps, but they can't carry me into the future you have for me. I don't want to survive anymore. I want to thrive in the center of your will. I want to rise with the boldness of one who knows they are deeply loved and fully seen. Lord, I bring you my past, the places I wish I could forget, the decisions I regret, the people who hurt me, and the ones I hurt in return. I've carried these things for too long, hoping time would heal them, but you're the only healer. I give them to you, and I ask for your supernatural restoration to invade even the most broken places of my memory. I invite you into every scar, every shadow, every secret I thought was mine to carry. You're not afraid of my mess. You're not repelled by my pain. In fact, you draw near to the brokenhearted, and you bind up their wounds. So bind mine, Father. Stitch my heart together with threads of grace. I let go of my timelines, my expectations, my definitions of what blessing should look like. I surrender every plan that hasn't unfolded the way I hoped. I hand you the blueprint I drafted in my own wisdom and ask you to replace it with divine design. Teach me to wait with purpose, to trust in your pace, to celebrate progress even when it's invisible. Because I know now that delay is not denial and silence is not absence. Even when I don't feel it, you are working behind the veil, orchestrating redemption in ways I can't begin to comprehend. Lord, help me trust you with the people I love. You know how hard it is to watch someone I care about walk through pain, knowing I can't fix it. But that's just it. I was never meant to be the savior. That role belongs to you. So I place them into your hands, confident that you love them more than I ever could. Whether it's a child wandering far from home, a spouse battling addiction, a parent aging in silence, or a friend drowning in sorrow, I lift them up to you now. I pray not only for their breakthrough, but for mine, the breakthrough that comes when I finally stop trying to be everything for everyone and simply become a vessel through which your love flows. Holy Spirit, fall fresh on me. Fill every place that letting go has left empty. Fill me with peace that surpasses understanding, with joy that rises above circumstances, with wisdom that confounds the patterns of this world. Let me become so saturated with your presence that nothing else can settle in. Let every root of fear be displaced by radical faith. Let every echo of shame be drowned out by the sound of your song over Maya's song of freedom, of belonging, of grace unearned, and mercies new every morning. And as I let go, I feel the shift. I feel chains falling off that I didn't even know I still wore. I feel the atmosphere around me change, because where surrender happens, heaven invades. I sense your angels encamping around me, your spirit warring on my behalf. I may not see the battle, but I know it is being fought and won in the spiritual realm. You're the God who goes before me. You level mountains. You open prison doors. You breathe life into dead places. I won't let my circumstances define you. I won't let my feelings dictate my faith. I won't let temporary trials obscure eternal truth. Because I know who you are. You are the same yesterday, today, and forever. You are my refuge and my fortress, my provider and protector, my savior and my song. And you are not overwhelmed by what overwhelms me. You are not intimidated by the size of my storm. You speak to winds and waves, and they obey. You speak to dry bones, and they live. So I speak your word over my life today, your living, breathing, miracle-working word. And I believe it will not return void. I choose to live today as one who has already overcome, not because of anything I've done, but because of the blood that was shed on my behalf. I live from victory, not for it. I fight from place of rest, not striving. I walk in peace, even in chaos, because peace is not the absence of trouble, it is the presence of Christ. And you are with me, Emmanuel, God with us, God with me. And in this sacred surrender, I begin to hear you more clearly. The noise of my fears, the clamor of comparison, the static of striving, all of it fades as I lean into the still, small voice that calls me beloved. You remind me that you are not in the earthquake or the fire, but in the whisper, and in the quiet, you rebuild me. Piece by piece, breath by breath, you are making me new. Father, I let go of the need to prove myself. I've spent too long chasing validation, exhausting my soul for applause that fades as quickly as it comes. But you have already spoken the only approval I will ever need. You are mine. Those words silence every doubt, every lie that says I must earn my worth. You are not impressed by my achievements, nor ashamed of my failures. You love me because of who you are, not because of what I do. So I no longer run to be seen, I run to be still with you. I no longer fight for a place at the table, I sit freely at the one you prepared for me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows, not with what the world can offer, but with what only you can give. Joy unshakable, hope unwavering, love unconditional. And I let go of fear of rejection, of scarcity, of being forgotten. Fear that if I don't hold everything together, it will all fall apart. But I remember now, I was never meant to hold the world. That role belongs to you. And you, Lord, never slumber nor sleep. You uphold the universe by the word of your power, and yet you still care for me. You catch my tears in a bottle. You number the hairs on my head. You write my name on the palm of your hand. There is no part of my life too small for your attention, no detail overlooked by your love. Holy Spirit, breathe upon my soul. Blow away the dust of doubt. Ignite in me a holy fire that burns away complacency, that purifies every motive, that draws me deeper into your heart. Let me crave your presence more than I crave answers. Let me seek intimacy with you more than clarity from you. Because in your presence is fullness of joy, and at your right hand are pleasures forevermore. I surrender every outcome, every prayer I've prayed with desperation, every door I've tried to force open, every relationship I've tried to fix in my own strength. I place them all in your hands, and I choose peace over panic, faith over frustration. Your timing is perfect, your plan is better, and your ways are always higher. Even when the path ahead feels uncertain, I will walk in obedience. Even when the answer is wait, I will wait with worship. Even when you say no, I will trust that it is for a greater yes. I don't want what's good, I want what's God. So strip away every distraction, every counterfeit promise, every idol I've clung to in fear. I want you more than I want comfort. I want purpose more than popularity. I want breakthrough more than approval. Let my life be a living altar where surrender becomes sacrifice and sacrifice becomes song. Let everything in me cry out, not my will, but yours be done, not just in the grand moments, but in the quiet choice in how I respond when I'm wronged, in how I speak when no one's watching, in how I love when it's hard. You are teaching me, Father, that letting go is not low-sitters gain. In losing my life, I find it in you. In emptying myself, I am filled with your Spirit. In yielding control, I discover divine direction. You are not looking for performance. You are looking for proximity. And this morning, I choose to draw near. I draw near with my questions. I draw near with my pain. And I know you will not turn me away. You welcome me as I am wounded, weary, wanting, and you clothe me with grace. You wash me in mercy. You restore to me the joy of salvation. And as I let go, I pick up something far greater, faith. Faith that moves mountains. Faith that unlocks the heavens. Faith that grows even in the valley. Faith that believes in your promises even when the evidence seems to say otherwise. I choose to believe you, not just believe in you. Because you're not just real, you are good. You are not just powerful, you are present. You're not just watching, you are working, even now. Let me walk through this day with eyes wide open to your goodness. Let me see divine appointments in every encounter. Let me recognize miracles in the mundane. Let me speak words that build up, not tear down. Let me walk with compassion, with courage, with the conviction that I am never alone. And yet, before the evening shadows think of arriving, I remain fully present in this daylight you have ordained, attuned to the miracle of now. Each second pulses with potential. Each breath holds possibilities for encounter. I refuse to hurry past wonder, to sprint beyond sacred interruption. Instead, I inhale slowly, savoring the aroma of grace, and exhale the anxiety of performance. Lord, teach me to celebrate progress, even when perfection still feels distant. Every small surrender is a seismic shift in the Spirit. Every whispered yes resounds in eternity. Let me be patient with my own becoming, just as patient as you have always been since the dawn of time. You are not in a rush with me. You are the author and the finisher. What you start, you complete, and what you have spoken over me will never return void. Therefore, I release comparison thief of joy, assassin of authenticity. I bless the path you have set for others and esteem the one you have carved uniquely for me. Your mosaic masterpiece requires diverse tiles. Remove envy so I can marvel at the artistry unfolding in collective unity. Let my soul no longer hunger for someone else's portion, but instead feast joyfully on what you've placed before me. Infuse my conversations with grace-seasoned words, answers that turn away wrath, and questions that open wells of understanding. Let me listen more than lecture, learn more than label, and build bridges where walls once stood tall. May my digital footprints reflect the gospel's footprint-leaving prints of peace, traces of truth, and pathways of hope across virtual deserts desperate for living water. Father, recalibrate my desires until they orbit solely around your heart. Burn away the fog of lesser loves. Convict me swiftly when comfort becomes an idol, or when success begins to speak louder than obedience. Remind me that the purest ambition is to become a reflection of Christ, not a reflection of culture, trends, or applause. Teach me the sacred rhythm of abiding, not as a spiritual achievement, but as a daily lifeline. I don't want to visit your presence. I want to dwell there. I don't want to touch heaven occasionally. I want to be transformed by it continually. Let your word be bread to my soul, not seasoning on the side. Let prayer be my posture, not just my practice. In moments of exhaustion, when weariness creeps in like a tide and threatens to steal my fire, renew my strength like the eagles. Let me soar not because I've earned flight, but because your wind is under my wings. You are the God who lifts, the one who upholds, who places songs in the mouths of the weary and laughter in the lungs of those once gasping for breath. I surrender every place that still resists surrender. Every room in my heart with a locked door, I hand you the key. Come in, Lord. Rearrange the furniture of my soul, if you must. Dismantle what I built in fear. Rebuild what I abandoned in disappointment. Breathe your peace into my chaos. Breathe your order into my confusion. Breathe your fire into my fatigue. And God, help me forgive myself. Sometimes that is the hardest letting go of all. The guilt I've carried like a cloak, the shame I've worn like skin, the regrets I revisit when the lights go out. You see it all. You call me clean. You call me redeemed. You call me free. So let me walk like one who's been liberated by the blood, not haunted by the past. Let me move forward, not looking back for chains you already shattered. Where I've idolized outcomes, teach me to treasure obedience. Where I've feared failure, remind me that no step taken in your name is ever wasted. Where I've tried to control people or situations, show me how to release them with open hands and trusting heart. I am not the hero of the story you are, and that realization is not defeat, it is deliverance. May my heart beat to the rhythm of heaven today. May my thoughts echo eternity. May my steps leave traces of hope, footprints soaked in grace. Let your name be glorified in everything, every task, every word, every breath, every silence. Let this be a day where angels rejoice, because one life is being laid down again, fully, joyfully, without reserve. Let this letting go not be a one-time act, but a lifestyle, a constant, holy rhythm of release and trust. A sacred exchange of me worry for your wisdom, my fear for your faithfulness, my weakness for your wonder. Let my every morning begin this way, not with striving, but with stillness, not with pressure, but with praise, not with clenched fists, but with lifted hands. And I remain here, Lord, still, quiet, surrendered. I remain here until you speak, until you move, until you stir my soul to rise again, not with anxiety, but with anointing, not with burdens, but with boldness, not with self-preservation, but with spirit-powered peace. I offer not perfection, not performance, but presentia presence yielded, willing, and wide open. I don't come because I have it all together, but because I finally realize I never had to. What you seek is not strength dressed in masks, but weakness surrendered in honesty. You are drawn to truth in the inward parts, to the kind of worship that bleeds from broken places and says, even here you are holy. Teach me to sit with you not only when the sun is shining and the path is clear, but when shadows stretch long and I can't see the road ahead. Let me not rush out of discomfort too quickly, but find you in the mystery of it. For it is in the unknown that trust is born, in the silence that intimacy is nurtured. You are not afraid of my wilderness moments. You meet me there with manna enough for today. You remind me that even when nothing seems to change around me, everything changes when I invite you into it. Perspective shifts. Peace replaces panic. Strength rises from stillness. And the same burdens that once crushed me now become altars where your glory rests. This is the miracle of your presence, not the removal of every storm, but the revelation that you walk with me through them, whispering, "Peace, be still." Let me never forget how sacred it is to be known and yet loved, to be seen in the raw, stripped-down version of myself and still called worthy, still called daughter, still invited deeper. You are the one who saw my every failure before I ever breathed, and still chose the cross, still chose redemption, still chose me. So why should I fear being exposed before you? There is no safer place than inside your gaze. I offer you the unspoken prayers, the ones too tangled to articulate, the ones buried under years of disappointment, the ones I barely admit even to myself. You hear them, you know, and you move not only for the loud cries, but for the silent tears that stain pillows in the night. You bottle every drop. You weave every ache into a tapestry I can't yet see, but I will one day understand. Let my life be a living song of surrender. Let every ordinary moment become an act of worship. Whether I am folding laundry or standing in line, typing emails or wiping tears, let it all become incense rising to your throne. Let me carry the sacred into the secular. Let me bring heaven's fragrance into every hallway, office, and room I step into. I'm not waiting for a platform to reflect your glory. I'm a platform. Wherever I go, I want your presence to go with me. Help me to see interruptions as invitations. Help me to see waiting as holy. Help me to remember that even when I don't understand the purpose, I can still trust the person. You are the way, even when the path is hidden. You are the truth, even when lies seem louder. You are the life, even when loss surrounds me. There is no version of reality where you are not enough. So I open my heart wider still. Stretch me to contain more of you. Expand my spirit until my capacity is no longer limited by what I've seen before. I do not want to live based on memory alone. I want to live from revelation, from a present encounter with the living God who speaks fresh mercy every morning. Let today be a new unveiling, a new taste of glory. Let today be a burning bush moment, even in the mundane. Let today be holy ground. I invite you into my thoughts. Let the meditations of my heart be sanctified. Uproot every lie I believed, every false narrative I've carried, every whisper that told me I was too far gone, too flawed, too forgotten. And in their place, plant the truth that I am fearfully and wonderfully made, that I am chosen, that I am yours, and that you, Lord, delight in me. Let delight be my strength today, not duty, not striving, but delight. Let me serve because I love you, not to earn your love. Let me walk in purity because I cherish intimacy with you, not because I fear punishment. Let holiness become my joy, not my burden. For where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. And I want to live in that freedom, not visit it on Sundays, but dwell there every hour. Reteach me how to breathe, how to rest, how to lean. I have grown so used to hustling for worth, proving my value, earning my place, but you say, come as you are. You say, be still and know. So I let go again. I release the pressure to perform, the need to impress, the urge to defend myself. I release the need to always have answers. I release the fear that if I don't hold it together, everything will fall apart. And as I dwell in this awareness that you are holding all things together, including may begin to release the illusion that I was ever meant to be my own savior. I was never called to carry the world on my shoulders. That burden belongs to you. I was never asked to be perfect, only present, only yielded, only willing to say yes, even trembling, even unsure. Because obedience, not certainty, is what brings heaven to earth. So I let go of the lies that told me I must always be strong. I give you the tears I've hidden behind closed doors. I give you the nights I stayed awake, trying to solve what only surrender could heal. I give you the layers I've worn to appear together, while my soul quietly unraveled beneath. You don't need my image, you long for my honesty. You're not waiting for performance, you inviting communion. Let every scar I carry become a testimony, not a prison. Let the pain I've endured not be wasted, but watered into compassion for others. Let me never despise the process, even when it breaks me, because I know you are the potter, and every break becomes a beauty mark in your hands. What the world calls fractured, you call formed. What I once called failure, you're using as foundation. Even in moments when I question why the waiting stretches so long, why doors seem closed, why answers are delayed, I will remind myself that you are not a careless God. You waste nothing. Every moment of stillness is filled with your intention. Every silence is pregnant with glory. And even when the story doesn't unfold how I planned, I trust that it unfolds how you purposed. Let me not lean on my own understanding, for my perspective is limited. But you, Lord, see from eternity. You write symphonies with my silence. You build highways through the wilderness. You part seas with a whisper and rain manna where logic says nothing should grow. So I choose trust again, not blind trust, but a bold, eyes wide open decision to believe that you are good, even when nothing makes sense. Teach me, Lord, not just to pray bold prayers, but to live bold answers. Let my life become the echo of every yes I whispered in secret. Let my steps align with what my spirit confesses. Let integrity be my legacy, even when applause is absent. Let my character shine in hidden places where only you and heaven bear witness. I surrender the outcomes I've idolized. I lay down the timelines I've gripped like lifelines. I confess that I've often measured your faithfulness by how quickly you moved, but now I realize your timing is not delay. It is design. You're never late. You're always right on time at the right door, the right word, the right encounter. So I lean back into your sovereignty. I lay my head on the pillow of providence. I rest in the fact that I am not forgotten. And as I rest, renew me. Let the weariness melt from my bones. Let joy rise from the ashes of what I thought I lost. Let peace quiet the anxious flutter in my chest. Let strength return to every place I felt depleted. Let hope be resurrected in places that felt long buried beneath despair. You are the God who revives, who restores, who rebuilds. You don't just repair what is broken, you redeem it. You make all things new, not all things the same. You don't return me to what was, you call me into what can be. You lead me forward, not backward. So I release my longing for the past and embrace the unfolding beauty of this present moment. I welcome the newness you are bringing, even if it looks unfamiliar, even if it requires courage to step into rooms I once avoided, even if it means I must leave behind identities I've outgrown, relationships that no longer align, habits that no longer honor you. I say yes. Yes to transformation. Yes to obedience. Yes to freedom. And where fear lingers, speak louder. Where hesitation grips, draw closer. Let every step I take echo with your assurance. I am with you. Let those words be my anthem in every valley, my shield in every battle, my banner in every victory. You're not a distant God. You are the God who walks beside, who lifts when I fall, who leads when I'm lost. So lead me today, Lord, not by maps drawn in ink, but by whispers of the Spirit. Let my day be directed not by to-do lists, but by divine nudges. Let me pause when you whisper, Move when you call, speak when you prompt, and remain silent when you guard my tongue. Make me sensitive to your leading, even when it interrupts my schedule. Break the rhythm of my routine if it means I can encounter you in a deeper way. Disrupt what is comfortable if it draws me closer to what is consecrated. And when I am tempted to return to what is familiar, remind me of the freedom that lies ahead. Remind me that the promised land requires leaving Egypt. That new wine demands new wineskins. That revival begins with release. Let me be a vessel not just for blessing, but for breakthrough. Let your glory flow through my surrendered life. Let others encounter you through my kindness, hear you in my words, feel you in my presence. Not because I'm trying to be impressive, but because I'm simply trying to stay yielded. I want to live like you're real because you are. I want to live like heaven is near because it is. I want to live like your word is alive because it breathes even now into the dry bones of my doubt, into the cracked ground of my unbelief. Speak, Lord, and I will listen. Move, and I will follow. Lead, and I will yield. Lord, as I linger in your presence, I can feel the weight of what I once carried beginning to lift. Not because circumstances have changed, but because I am being changed in the midst of them. It is here, in this sacred exchange of me weakness for your strength, my questions for your peace, my striving for your rest, that transformation unfolds in silence and in surrender. I no longer want to measure my spiritual growth by outward evidence alone, by blessings counted or battles won, but by how quickly I yield to your whisper. Teach me to respond to conviction with humility, to receive correction with joy, to embrace refinement as proof that I am still on the potter's wheel. Shape me, God. Mold me. And if the reshaping requires breaking, I will not resist it, for I know you break only to rebuild, you prune only to produce, you stretch only to strengthen. Let the soil of my soul be fertile ground for everything you want to plant. Pull out the weeds of offense. Uproot bitterness before it grows deep, until the hard places that no longer absorb your rain. Water me with your word until I am saturated with truth, until I no longer crave the affirmation of man, because I am sustained by the approval of my Father. Place within me a hunger that this world cannot satisfy, a hunger for righteousness, a thirst for holiness, a longing that leads me again and again to the foot of the cross, not out of guilt, but out of gratitude. Because the more I behold you, the more I want you. The more I rest in your love, the less I strive for acceptance. And the more I surrender, the more alive I become. You are not a distant deity seated on a far-off throne. You are here. Emmanuel, you are the God who enters rooms uninvited just to heal a soul hiding in the corner. You are the Father who runs toward the prodigal with arms wide open. You are the shepherd who leaves the 99 just to find the one who wandered. And today, I realize that one is me. How often have I wandered not with my feet, but with my focus? How often have I gone through the motions of devotion while my heart drifted into distractions? But still you pursued me. Still you called my name. Still, you invited me back, not with punishment, but with promise. So I return again, not ashamed, not afraid, but in awe. Oh, that you never stopped waiting. Oh, that you never changed your mind about me. Let that awe remain with me throughout the day. Let it anchor me when the world tries to seduce me with hurry, with noise, with shallow substitutes. Let reverence be my rhythm. Let stillness be my strength. Let joy rise not from what I possess, but from whom I belong to. You are enough for me, Jesus. You are more than enough. And if ever I forget when the clouds of confusion roll in, when old lies resurface, when doubts knock loud, remind me again. Whisper it in the depths of my spirit. I am loved. I am known. I am held. I am called. Let those truths thunder louder than the fears that once dictated my steps. Let those words become the melody of my day, the anthem of my walk, the compass of my decisions. I lay down every anxious thought that tries to race ahead of your will. I silence every voice that competes with yours. I turn off the noise of the world so I can tune in to the frequency of heaven. And in this holy hush, I find clarity not always in answers, but in awareness. Awareness that you are here, that you are moving, that you are for me. Help me to see your fingerprints on the small things, the kindness of a stranger, the sunbeam through my window, the laughter of a child, the pause that protects me from unseen harm. Let me see your grace not just in the miraculous, but in the mundane. Let me see that you are as present in the silence as you are in the shout. Take my hands, Lord, and use them. Let them comfort, let them build, let them bless. Let them be extensions of heaven's compassion. Guard my words so they carry life, not criticism. Let my speech be soaked in mercy, anchored in truth, and delivered with gentleness. Let my eyes see others through the lens of redemption, not judgment. Let my feet move in step with peace, bringing good news into every room they enter. I want to live this day fully aware, fully awake to you. I don't want to survive the hours. I want to sanctify them. I want to walk in purpose, not passivity. I want to live like this moment matters because it does. Eternity begins here. Heaven is not just latter, it's now, within me, because you dwell in me. And where you are, all things become possible. So stretch my faith today. Let it rise higher than disappointment, bolder than fear, deeper than what I can comprehend. Let it be the kind of faith that prays even when the answer hasn't come, that sings even when the chains remain, that believes even when the night is long. The kind of faith that doesn't demand proof, but simply clings to the promise. You are with me. Let me not seek shortcuts through suffering, but strength within it. Let me not beg for escape, but embrace endurance. You are not punishing me in the process, you are perfecting me through it. What feels like delay may be divine protection. What seems like denial may be a redirection into something better than I imagined. So I will wait on you not passively, but prayerfully. I will worship while I wait. I will serve while I wait. I will rejoice while I wait, because waiting with you is not wasted. Let the fire refine, not consume. Let the pruning draw me nearer, not push me away. Let every unanswered prayer become an altar of trust, a place where faith matures and roots go deeper. And when the breakthrough comes in, I believe it will may, I never forget who brought me through. Father, I sense the holy ground beneath my feet, not because of where I am, but because of who is here. You turn the ordinary into the sacred, the mundane into the miraculous, simply by being present. And where you are, I lack nothing. My soul inhales that truth and releases the pressure to be more, to do more, to fix what was never mine to fix. You are enough for my yesterday, my today, and every tomorrow I'll ever face. Strip away the layers of false strength I've worn. You never asked me to impress you. You never required that I pretend to be whole while breaking inside. So I bring you the brokenness. I bring you the pieces that no longer fit. I bring you the parts I've tried to hide, and I lay them all at your feet, not as trash to be discarded, but as treasure to be redeemed. Nothing is wasted in your hands. Teach me again the value of weakness surrendered. Teach me that real power is found not in the noise of self-promotion, but in the stillness of your presence. Let me be more concerned with becoming than appearing, more in love with your truth than with temporary comfort. Let me stop running from the discomfort that sanctifies. Let me embrace the fire that purifies. For you are not out to destroy me in the flame, but to reveal the gold beneath the surface. And when others see me, they see you. Not a polished version, but a living testimony. Not someone who has arrived, but someone who has been rescued. Let my life speak louder than sermons. My forgiveness speak louder than opinions. My mercy speak louder than judgment. Let me love in a way that leaves people hungry for the source of my joy. Let me forgive in ways that defy logic, because I remember what it feels like to be forgiven. Let your spirit rise in me like a river that breaks through dry places, a river that overflows boundaries I once accepted as final, a river that nourishes every soul I encounter, not because I have anything in myself, but because I've allowed you to pour through me. Break every dam of pride. Remove every stone of fear. Let your living water flow, Jesus. Let it rush with power. Let it move freely. Breathe through me. Think through me. Move through me. Let even my silence be saturated with your peace. Let even my weariness be a doorway for your strength. Let me not seek applause, but alignment. Let me not strive for a platform, but for purity. May my greatest ambition be to look more like Christ, not louder, not busier, not more accomplished, just more like you. Let me find you in simplicity again, in the quiet of morning, in the sound of rain, in the laughter of a child, in the kindness of strangers. Remind me that you are not just in the fire, the wind, or the earthquake, but in the whisper. And may my soul be still enough to hear it. Let my heart never grow numb to the miracle of grace. Let me never normalize mercy. Let every moment of undeserved kindness still bring me to tears. Keep me tender, Lord. In a world that grows harder every day, make me soft with compassion, bold with truth, and fierce in love. Let me not compromise the gospel to be accepted. Let me not water down truth to fit the world's mold. Let me live unashamed just in public, but in the private places where no one sees but you. Draw me deeper, Father, deeper than routine prayers, deeper than familiar worship songs, deeper than head knowledge. Take me into the depths where my soul has no option but to trust. Take me to the places where faith is not theory, but lifeline. And when I hesitate at the edge of those deep waters, remind me that you never call me into what you won't carry me through. Let me not confuse busyness with fruitfulness. Let me not wear exhaustion as a badge of honor. You didn't create me to burn out. You call me to burn for you. Reignite the fire. Lord, not a fire fueled by hype or noise, but a steady flame that endures, that shines quietly in the dark, that warms without needing to be seen. Be my portion, God, not just when all else fails, but when everything's going right. Let prosperity never numb my need for you. Let blessing never replace desperation. And let seasons of abundance never dilute my hunger for the giver of every good thing. Keep me anchored, not in the gift, but in the giver. I surrender control again, not just in the big things, but in the daily details I try to micromanage. The conversations I rehearse, the outcomes I try to engineer, the people I want to protect from pain. I release them to you. I release myself to you. Take what I cannot carry. Fill what I cannot fix. Heal what I cannot reach. You are God. I'm not. And that is the most freeing truth I know. You are not a God who demands distance. You are the one who chose closeness, who wrapped yourself in flesh, who touched the leper, who dined with sinners, who wept at gravesides. You are not unfamiliar with my sorrow. You are acquainted with grief. You sit with me in the ashes, not in judgment, but in solidarity. You rise with me in the morning, not in condemnation, but an invitation, walk with me. So I will walk one surrendered step at a time, even if it's slow, even if it's through fog, even if it means I leave behind things that once defined me. I'd rather limp with you than run without you. I'd rather be refined in your fire than praised in a place you never called me to. I'd rather obey than be understood. I'd rather follow your whisper than the world's roar. Let this journey be marked by your fingerprints on my decisions, on my relationships, on my mindset, on my responses. Let heaven bear witness that someone on earth was willing to say yes without condition. Let my life be an altar where your fire falls, a canvas where your spirit paints, a story where your name is the headline, not mine. And I'm still here, Lord, still listening, still trusting, still holding onto the hem of your robe when I feel too weak to stand. Because one touch from you changes everything. One word from you realigns everything. One moment in your presence rewrites what years of striving could never fix. Let that moment be now. Let the miracle unfold, not in a future far away, but in this breath, in this posture, in this surrender. And in this breath, in this sacred silence, I recognize something shifting not outside of me, but within. The tension that once clung to my shoulders like chains begins to melt. The noise of fear, once deafening, grows faint in the light of your truth. I am no longer a captive of circumstances, am a child of the King, not defined by outcomes, but by your overwhelming, unshakable love. Let that love take root deeper today. Let it touch the places I've walled off, the bruised spaces I swore I'd keep protected, the hidden chambers where I store my deepest disappointments. You're not afraid of what's in those rooms. You're not overwhelmed by what I've hidden. You are the God who walks through locked doors, who enters tombs others avoid, who resurrects what I thought was lost forever. So I open them. Everyone, I invite you in. Move freely, Lord. Rearrange the furniture of my soul. Remove what no longer belongs. Rebuild what's been damaged. Sweep away the dust of apathy. Polish what's dulled under the weight of doubt. Let every inch of my heart become a sanctuary agina place where heaven is not only welcomed, but worshipped. And if I forget again, because I know I will remind me gently, not with shame, but with your steady, loving voice. Remind me that grace is not a one-time gift. It's the rhythm of every breath. That mercy doesn't run dry at midnight. It renews with the morning. That I am not here to prove anything, but to remain in the truth of everything you've already finished. You finished it all. Every curse broken, every shame covered, every debt paid. So why should I live as though I'm still earning love that's already been poured out without condition? Why should I cling to burdens you've already nailed to the cross? Help me, Jesus, to live from the victory, not toward it. To walk as one who is free not someday, not when everything's perfect, but now, in this very moment. And in that freedom, give me courage. Courage not to be louder, but to be kinder. Courage not to dominate, but to serve. Courage to keep forgiving when it would be easier to resent. Courage to pray again when the last prayer seemed unanswered. Courage to stay when fleeing would feel safer. Courage to say yes, even when it costs me everything comfortable. Because I don't want comfort, I want Christ. I don't want a life padded with ease. I want a life marked by your presence. I don't want shallow peace, I want peace that passes understanding. I don't want empty success, I want eternal significance. So do what you must in me, Lord. Even if it stretches me, even if it sanctifies me through fire. even if it means saying goodbye to who I was, so I can become who you destined me to be. And let the world not change my confession. Let opinions not dilute my faith. Let persecution not silence my praise. You are worthy even when I suffer. You are worthy even when the world rejects me. You are worthy when prayers feel unanswered, when the storm rages, when the road feels long and the reward feels distant. You are worthy not because of what you do, but because of who you are. Let my worship be anchored in that truth, not based on feeling, not driven by atmosphere, but rooted in the reality that you never change. Let my lips praise you when my heart is heavy. Let my hands lift even when the weight of sorrow tries to pull them down. Let my soul bless you, not just in the breakthrough, but in the breaking. Because it's in the breaking that I have found you the closest. In the fracture, you slip in. In the loss, you speak most clearly. In the wilderness, you become water to my soul. So I will not curse the desert if it leads me to you. I will not run from the refining if it burns away what hinders love. I will not resent the wrestle if it ends with me holding tighter to your name. Whisper to me through the winds of today. Show up in the interruptions I once saw as inconvenient. Slow me down until I can feel the cadence of grace in every step. Let my calendar bow to your presence. Let my plans remain flexible in the hands of sovereignty. Let my agenda become a tool, not a master. Teach me to carry peace like a garment so evident that it wraps around those who encounter me. Not the peace that comes from having it all together, but the peace that flows from trusting the one who holds all things together. Let that peace guard my heart and mind. Let it surround my thoughts when anxiety knocks. Let it protect my joy when darkness tries to creep in. And when I see the pain of others, let me not turn away. Let me not justify my distance with busyness. Let me not harden my heart because I fear feeling too much. Give me tears that reflect yours. Give me hands that move in compassion. Let me bear one another's burdens, not as a savior, but as a servant. Not out of guilt, but out of love. Because this is what you did for me. This is what you still do. And when I grow tired, because I will remind me where true strength comes from. Not caffeine, not motivation, not applause, but from waiting on you, from abiding in you, from being still and knowing. I don't need to force momentum. I need to follow your movement. I don't need to manufacture light. I need to reflect yours. So here I am again, simply abiding, simply breathing in your nearness, letting you do what only you can do in the places only you can reach. And as I abide, something deeper begins to settle. A quiet assurance takes root where anxiety once lived. A steady calm rises up where once there was restlessness. I do not need all the answers to walk forward. I only need to know that you are with me. And you are, not in theory, not in vague concept, but tangibly here. In the very breath I take, in the stillness wrapping itself around my heart like a sacred blanket. You are Emmanuel, God with us, God with me, not just on the mountaintops of revelation, but in the shadows of confusion. Not just when I'm singing loud with joy, but when I'm whispering hope through trembling lips. Your presence is not earned, not performance-based, not conditional. It is promised, faithful, constant. Even when I feel far, you are near. So let me live like someone who knows they are never alone. Let me walk with boldness, not arrogance. Let me speak with grace, not fear. Let me respond to life not with defense, but with discernment. Not with anxiety, but with alignment to the pace of heaven. Because you go before me, you walk beside me, and you cover me from behind. Father, reframe how I see this day. This is not just another morning, it is a canvas of divine possibilities. It is filled with invitations to love, to serve, to listen, to grow. Every conversation holds eternal potential. Every task, however mundane, can become sacred when offered to you. Whether I'm in a boardroom or a kitchen, a classroom or a hospital bed, let me recognize the holy in the here and now. Help me to see people, not just problems. To notice souls, not just schedules. To hear hearts, not just words. Let my life be a safe place for others to land. Let my presence reflect your gentleness, your patience, your fierce tenderness. Make me someone who disarms fear and invites peace simply by carrying you within me. And when I falter, because I will remind me that stumbling doesn't mean disqualification. That doubt doesn't cancel destiny. That weakness doesn't exclude me from your work. You are not looking for perfection. You are looking for surrender. And even in the falling, you reach down not with condemnation, but with compassion. You lift me, dust me off, and whisper again, let's keep going. So I will, even when it's slow, even when I have more questions than clarity, even when all I have to offer is a willing heart and tired hands. Because you can do more with my surrender than I could ever accomplish through striving. You are not asking me to build a kingdom in my namury, inviting me to co-labor in yours. Let my goals be shaped by eternity, not ego. Let my dreams be surrendered, not self-centered. Let my influence be an overflow of intimacy with you, not a substitute for it. I don't want to be known more than I am transformed. I don't want platform without purity. I don't want applause without alignment. So purify my motives, Lord. Search me and know me. Reveal what needs refining and do it in love. Even if the process is painful, I will not resist your hand. Like clay on the wheel, I trust that you are shaping something worthy, even when it spins. Even when I feel undone. Even when I don't understand what you're making of me. I trust the potter more than the process. I trust the artist more than the brushstrokes. And I trust your timing more than my own. Unhook me from the addiction to outcomes. Release me from measuring my worth by results. Let me live from the inside out where peace leads, where purpose flows from presence, where joy is not circumstantial but rooted in who you are. You are unchanging, immutable, everlasting, and yet you are near, accessible, intimate. You bend low to listen. You incline your ear to hear even the faintest whisper of my heart. You do not rush me through healing. You do not hurry me into holiness. You walk with me patiently every step of the way. How kind you are, Lord. How endlessly patient and wonderfully near. So let me reflect your kindness not just to the world, but to myself. Let me not be the accuser in my own head. Let me not replay the old scripts of shame that you already erased. Let me not speak to myself in ways you never would. Teach me to show myself the same grace I extend to others, because I am just as in need of it. I am not called to perfection, I am called to transformation. And transformation takes time. Let that truth quiet the inner critic. Let it silence the lie that I must be more, do more, produce more. You don't love me more when I'm productive, and you don't love me less when I'm still. Your love is not transactional, it is covenant. It is not seasonal, it is eternal. Let that love become the rhythm of my soul. And if I forget again, tomorrow remind me again. I know you will. You are the shepherd who leaves the 99 again and again for the one who loses her way. You are the father who runs down the road again and again to welcome home the wandering heart. You are the spirit who speaks not once, but always calling me back to the truth that I am yours. Let me rest in that truth, not as information, but as revelation. Let it sink into my bones, saturate every fiber of my being, and shift how I see myself, how I move through this world, how I respond to the people you place in my path. When I know I am loved, I cannot help but love freely in return. So love through me, Lord. Move through me. Speak through me. And if ever I begin to think it's about me, gently remind me it's always been about you. And even now, as these truths weave themselves into the fibers of my spirit, I feel the weight of striving slip further away. I feel the tension of performing release its grip. I was never called to manufacture my worth, but to marvel at it worth declared by the very one who shaped me with his own breath and sealed me with his own spirit. Let wonder awaken in me again, Father. Wonder at your goodness that never grows old. Wonder at your mercies that never run dry. Wonder that the same God who carved oceans with his hands knows my name and calls me beloved. Let my heart never become too familiar with the sacred. Let gratitude always rise like a holy song inside of me, louder than cynicism, stronger than disappointment, more enduring than the fleeting thrills of this earth. Draw me deeper into that place where gratitude becomes my anthem, where worship is not an act I perform, but a life I embody. A life poured out in the small choices, the forgiveness offered when none is asked for, the patience extended when frustration is deserved, the gentleness spoken when anger demands a response. These are the hidden places where heaven invades earth, where glory takes root in the unnoticed corners of everyday living. Lord, make me faithful in the unseen. Teach me that significance is not measured by crowds, but by obedience. That eternal impact is not reserved for those with platforms, but for those who simply say yes in the secret places. Remind me that the applause of men fades, but the affirmation of heaven endures forever. I want to live for the smile of God, not the fleeting praise of a fickle world. And when the world misunderstands me's, it often does let me find my validation not in explanations, but in intimacy with you. Let me not waste energy defending myself when my identity is already defended by the blood of the Lamb. Let me move through misunderstandings with grace, through opposition with peace, through rejection with the unshakable knowledge that I am already accepted by the only one who truly matters. Strengthen my hands for the work you've set before me today, even if it feels small. Remind me that no act of obedience is ever wasted, that loving my neighbor matters, that showing up when it's easier to stay hidden matters, that listening well matters, that choosing kindness when cruelty is easier matters. These are the building blocks of your kingdom quiet, sturdy, unseen by many but precious in your sight. Let me be willing to go low so that you may be lifted high. Let me be content to sow seeds I may never see harvest. Let me rejoice in the victories of others, knowing that the kingdom is bigger than my personal story. Let humility be the fragrance I leave behind in every room. Let generosity be my language. Let encouragement be my legacy. And when the day grows long and fatigue presses close, be my rest, Jesus. Be the safe place where I lay down my burdens and find my soul restored. Whisper to me in the weariness, it is enough, not because I accomplished everything, but because I remained with you. Remaining is the victory. Abiding is the triumph. Faithfulness is the song you love to hear. Train my eyes to recognize the eternal, even when the temporal screams for attention. Teach me to build for forever, not just for today. To treasure what moth and rust cannot destroy. to invest where dividends are measured in souls, not stocks, in transformed hearts, not fleeting trends. Lord, let your priorities become my instincts. Let your values recalibrate my inner compass. Let your heartbeat set the tempo for my days. When my pace quickens from anxiety, slow me down with your peace. When my mind races with 100 what-ifs, anchor me in your unfailing promises. When my heart aches with longing, satisfy me anew with the goodness of your presence. And Father, in all my receiving, make me a river, not a reservoir. Let your blessings flow through me, not stagnate within me. Let your love overflow into actions that heal, words that restore, prayers that uplift. Let every gift you place in my hands find its fulfillment in the giving. For it is more blessed to give than to receive, and I long to live blessed. Blessed not by worldly standards, but by heavenly ones. Blessed with pure hands and a pure heart. Blessed with a faith that stands firm in shaking. Blessed with a joy that dances even in mourning. Blessed with a hope that anchors deep beyond the veil of this visible world. Let your word be the lamp that lights my path today, even when the steps ahead seem uncertain. Let your promises be the bedrock I build my thoughts upon. Let your spirit be the whisper that corrects, directs, and protects as I walk. And when temptations arise to veer off course, temptations to take shortcuts, to settle for less, to numb my need for you, strengthen me to resist, not in my might, but in your spirit. Shape in me a resilience that doesn't come from stubbornness, but from surrender. A resilience born of resting in the truth that if you are for me, no opposition can stand. That if you call me, no failure can disqualify me. That if you begin a work in me, you will be faithful to complete it, even if the process looks nothing like I expected. And Father, in every wilderness season, in every valley shadowed by fear, remind me that the barren places are not empty of purpose. Remind me that you do some of your deepest work in hidden soil. That fruitfulness is often preceded by seasons of pruning. That intimacy with you often deepens in the silence where answers seem delayed. Let me not curse the seasons that carve away the excess. Let me not despise the refining fire that burns away lesser loves. Let me embrace the journey, not just the destination, trusting that you waste nothing in your economy of grace. Even the waiting, especially the waiting. The waiting is where roots grow deep, where faith is stretched beyond sight, where trust is forged into steel. So I welcome it, Lord, not begrudgingly, but willingly. If waiting draws me closer to your heart, let me wait well. Let me wait worshipfully. Let me wait with hands lifted high and heart bowed low, declaring your goodness in every delay. You are not slow, as some understand slowness. You are patient, not wanting any to perish. You are patient with me. Teach me to be patient with your promises, patient with myself, patient with the process you have perfectly designed. And while I wait, let my love grow. Let my joy deepen. Let my peace expand. Let my hope solidify. Let my worship soar. Let my faith mature until it no longer depends on circumstance, but rests entirely in character, your unchanging, ever-faithful character. And as faith matures, as trust deepens, something shifts within me that no circumstance can steal. A quiet resolve begins to anchor my soul, not a resolve born from willpower, but one rooted in the revelation of who you are. The same God who spoke galaxies into existence is the one who holds my fragile heart with tenderness. The same hands that stretched wide on Calvary are the hands that catch me when I fall. So why should I fear what lies ahead? Why should I let temporary troubles dictate eternal truths? Let the certainty of your goodness become the lens through which I view every trial, every triumph, every mundane moment between. Let gratitude become my default response. Let worship rise like breath from my lungs, so instinctively that even on my hardest days, praise is the first word on my lips. Not because life is always easy, but because you're always good. Not because everything makes sense, but because your love holds steady when nothing else does. I refuse to measure your faithfulness by my circumstances. I choose to measure my circumstances by your faithfulness. I choose to declare that you are good even when my eyes have yet to see the breakthrough. I choose to believe your promises even when my heart is weary from waiting. Teach me to walk by faith and not by sight. To trust your heart when I cannot trace your hand. To move forward even when the map seems incomplete, because your presence is my destination. Let every step I take today be an act of trust, an act of worship, an act of love poured out in surrender. When doubts whisper, let your truth roar louder. When fear tries to paralyze, let your spirit propel me forward. When insecurity claws at my identity, remind me that my value was settled once and for all on the cross, not subject to the shifting opinions of men or the unstable tides of success and failure. I am who you say I am, beloved, redeemed, chosen, called, and crowned with mercy. Let these truths not just comfort me, but commission me. Let them move me into action, not frantic striving, but spirit-led obedience. Let them compel me to love the unlovable, to serve the unnoticed, to pray for the broken, to champion the forgotten. Let them fuel a life not obsessed with building my own kingdom, but surrendered to advancing yours. Father, make me bold in compassion and fearless in kindness. Let me extend grace as lavishly as I have received it. Let forgiveness flow freely from me, not as a favor to others, but as a faithful echo of the grace that set me free. Let mercy mark my life so profoundly that those who encounter me encounter a glimpse of you. And when weariness presses in, let me drink deeply from the well that never runs dry. When criticism stings, let me anchor myself in your affirmation. When loneliness whispers, let me lean harder into the embrace of a God who never leaves nor forsakes. When confusion clouds my way, let your word be the lamp to my feet and the light to my path. Let me live rooted and established in love, so grounded in your truth that nothing can uproot my peace. Let me not be tossed by the waves of culture or blown about by the winds of popular opinion. Let me stand firm, anchored not in stubbornness, but in spirit-breathed conviction. And let that conviction not harden me, but humble me. Let not isolate me, but ignite a deeper love for those still wandering. Use my life, Lord, not for my glory, but for yours. Not for comfort, but for calling. Not for accolades, but for authentic impact. Whether seen or unseen, known or anonymous, celebrated or forgotten, let my life be a living altar, a fragrant offering rising before your throne. I lay down my reputation, my expectations, my ambitions, my dreams. I lay down my fears, my failures, my fragile need for approval. I lay down the pen with which I've tried to script my story, and I place it firmly back into your hands. You are the author. You are the finisher. You know what you are doing, and it is beautiful, even when I don't yet see the full picture. Help me trust the unfinished chapters. Help me wait with hope and not with despair. Help me sing even in the silence, Dance even in the dark. Believe even in the barren seasons. Because if you are writing this story, then I know it will end in redemption. It always does when you are the author. Let my life declare the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. Let it sing of your faithfulness through every season, through spring's new beginnings, summer's abundance, autumn's letting go, and winter's waiting. Let every season sanctify me. Let every chapter glorify you. And in those quiet moments when the enemy tries to whisper that I'm unseen, unworthy, forgotten, remind me that you see every hidden act of faithfulness. You see the small yes, the silent sacrifices, the private prayers no one else hears. And you call them precious. You collect every tear, record every moment, honor every humble act with eternal significance. You are the God who sees, the God who knows, the God who cares. And because you see me, I can walk unseen by the world without losing heart. Because you know me, I can be misunderstood without losing joy. Because you love me, I can be rejected without losing hope. So let me live for your eyes only. Let me sing for an audience of one. Let me serve without seeking applause, give without expecting recognition, love without conditions attached. Let me find the fullness of life not in taking, but in giving, not in demanding, but in delighting. Your way is better. Your timing is perfect. Your plans are higher. Your heart is good. And I surrender again to all that you are, all that you have, all that you hold for me. And as I surrender, not reluctantly but joyfully, a new kind of strength rises in me. Not the brittle strength built on pride or self-sufficiency, but the resilient strength born from abiding. A strength that bends without breaking, that endures without growing cold, that remains rooted even when the winds howl and the storms beat against the house of my life. Because my foundation is not shifting sand, it is the immovable rock of Christ. And on this rock, I choose to build not castles for my own glory, but a dwelling place for your spirit. Not monuments to my success, but altars of remembrance, where I can return again and again to worship you for your faithfulness. Let every stone be laid with prayer, every wall be built with obedience, every room be filled with praise. Let my very life become a sanctuary where your presence is not a visitor, but the permanent resident. Father, teach me to recognize the sacredness of simple obedience, that when I forgive without applause, when I serve without acknowledgement, when I love without conditions, I am building something that pleases your heart. Let my ambition be simply to bring you joy. Let my definition of success be obedience, no matter the outcome. And when the world around me races faster and faster, demanding more, shouting louder, offering distraction after distraction, teach me the holy art of slowing down. Let me walk at your pace, not the world's. Let me move in step with the Spirit, not in reaction to circumstances. Let my days be marked not by how much I accomplish, but by how much I abide. Abiding, not visiting, not glancing toward you when convenient, but dwelling, remaining, rooted, drinking deep from the well of your presence until it becomes my sustenance, my source, my very life. Let everything else fade into the background until your voice is the loudest, your love the strongest, your truth the clearest thing in my life. And even if everything else falls away, even if success crumbles, relationships shift, dreams take unexpected turns, let me still have this one thing, you. Because if I have you, I have everything. If I have you, no loss is ultimate. If I have you, no pain is wasted. If I have you, no waiting is in vain. You are my portion. You're my prize. You are my exceedingly great reward, and I dare to believe that in you, nothing is ever truly lost. Dreams surrendered into your hands are not discarded. They are resurrected in new and better forms. Seeds buried in trust are not forgotten. They break forth in the right season with fruit I could never have imagined. Tears sown in surrender do not evaporate into nothingness. They water the soil for miracles yet unseen. So even now, if you ask me to release more and more control, more comfort, more of what I think I need, I will not cling tighter. I will open my hands wider. I will trust that you are a better keeper of my hopes than I ever could be. I will trust that your hands are safer, stronger, and surer than my own. Father, help me to stay tender in a world that tries to harden me. Help me to keep my heart soft when disappointment tempts me towards cynicism. Help me to choose trust when betrayal tries to birth bitterness. Help me to choose love when anger seems easier. Help me to remember that to love like you is to choose the harder the road of mercy, forgiveness, perseverance, and grace. Remind me that love is not weakness. That gentleness is not passivity. That meekness is not defeat. It is strength under control. It is power submitted. It is choosing every day to lay down the sword and pick up the cross. And as I walk this narrow way, empower me not with the brutal energy of self-effort, but with the unending, inexhaustible power of your Spirit. Fill me again, Lord. Fill every empty space. Fill every dry place. Fill every cracked cistern until I overflow not with exhaustion, but with living water. Let me leak grace everywhere I go. Let peace drip from my words. Let kindness soak my actions. Let mercy be the fragrance I leave behind. Let hope rise in the wake of my presence, because your Spirit overflows from within me. And when I face battles, because they will come, let me remember that I am not fighting for victory. I am fighting from victory. The cross has already declared it. The empty tomb has already secured it. The Spirit within me already confirms it. Victory is not a distant hope, it is a present reality in Christ. So I will not be intimidated by the giants. I will not be paralyzed by the Red Seas. I will not be discouraged by the walls of Jericho. I will lift my eyes higher than the obstacles, fix my gaze beyond the opposition, and see the captain of angel armies leading me forward. With every step, I will declare, you are faithful. You are enough. You are good. You are mighty to save. And even when my voice quivers, even when my hands tremble, even when my heart pounds with the weight of uncertainty, I will step forward anyway. I will step into the river before it parts. I will shout before the walls fall. I will praise before the breakthrough. I will move by faith, not by sight, because faith is not just believing for the miracle. Faith is trusting you even if the miracle looks different than I expected. Faith is believing that you are good even when life is hard. Faith is singing in the prison, dancing in the desert, worshiping in the waiting. And this is the life I want, Lord. Not a life cushioned from pain, but a life crowned with your presence. Not a life free of struggle, but a life filled with purpose. Not a life worshiping comfort, but a life consumed by love. A life that points to you in every season, every circumstance, every breath. So take all of me, Lord. Not just the polished parts, not just the parts I'm proud of, but the hidden places too. The fears I still wrestle with. The wounds I still carry. The dreams I'm afraid to dream again. I hold them out to you with trembling hands, knowing that you do not despise weakness, you dwell in it. You are near to the brokenhearted. You bind up the wounds that others overlook. You specialize in taking what the world discards and turning it into treasures of grace. I want to be wholly yours, Father. Every thought, every breath, every ambition, every secret longing, every moment of every day, surrendered, offered, poured out like oil at your feet. Let my life be a fragrance that rises to heaven, not because it is perfect, but because it is surrendered. Let my worship be a river, not a reservoir, flowing freely, reaching beyond myself into the lives of others. And Lord, as I journey with you, deepen my capacity to see the beauty hidden in brokenness. Teach me not to recoil from suffering, but to lean in and find you there. Teach me not to shy away from lament, but to bring it boldly to your feet, trusting that you are not intimidated by my pain, that you invite my honesty, you welcome my rawness, you cherish my unfiltered heart poured out before you. Let me never forget that you are the God who weeps with me, who rejoices over me with singing, who sits with me in silence when words are too heavy to speak. You are the God who does not demand my perfection, but invites my presence. You are meant at my performance, not my pretense. Just me, here, now, as I am. And there is no greater freedom than to be fully seen, fully known, fully loved. And when the world offers substitute shallow pleasures, temporary comforts, fleeting fame, let me see them for what they are, dust compared to the riches of knowing you. Let my hunger for you be insatiable. Let my thirst for your righteousness never be quenched by lesser things. Let my soul chase after you with a relentless pursuit, because once someone has tasted of the living water, nothing else will ever satisfy. Father, burn away every idol, even the subtle ones I don't recognize. Burn away every reliance on my own wisdom, my own strength, my own understanding. I do not want a faith that is convenient. I want a faith that costs me something, because it reminds me how precious you are. Let my life be an altar where the fire of your Spirit never goes out. Teach me to pray without ceasing, not with eloquent words, but with a heart continually turned toward you. Teach me to breathe prayers with every inhale, to release burdens with every exhale. Teach me that prayer is not an event, but a posture. Not a checklist, but a lifeline. Let me carry conversations with you through every moment of my day, whispering gratitude as I walk, crying out for help when I falter, rejoicing with every small victory, grieving every loss in your arms. You are not a distant deity listening coldly from afar. You are my Abba Father, near and attentive, bending low to hear even my quietest whisper. You delight in every moment I turn toward you. You dance over every step I take closer to your heart. So let my feet never grow weary of walking this journey with you. And when the path grows steep, when my legs shake with exhaustion, remind me that I am not walking alone. Remind me that even when I cannot take another step, you carry me. That even when my strength is gone, your strength is made perfect in my weakness. That even when I feel abandoned, you have never left. Not for a moment. Let hope be the anchor of my soul when the waves rise high. Let your promises be the melody that steadies my heart when the winds howl around me. Let the cross be the lighthouse that guides me through every storm. Because the victory has already been won. The blood has already been shed. The grave has already been emptied. I'm not fighting for victory, I am living from it. So let joy rise pure. Unshakable joy, not based on circumstances, but rooted in resurrection reality. Let joy flood the darkest places of my mind. Let it drench the driest deserts of my heart. Let it spring up from the deepest wells of my spirit, singing songs of hope where once only despair echoed. I will not let fear have the final word. I will not let disappointment write the last chapter. I will not let failure define me. You define me, and you call me beloved, chosen, redeemed, free, called for such a time as this. And because you have called me, you will equip me. Because you have begun a good work, you will complete it. Because you have promised, you will be faithful. I will not rely on what my eyes see, but on what my spirit knows. You are the God who finishes what he starts. You are the God who parts seas, crumbles walls, breathes life into dry bones. You are the God who never fails. Let that truth be tattooed on my heart so deeply that no storm can erase it. Let it be the song I sing in the prison cells of life. Let it be the fire that keeps me warm in the coldest nights. Let it be the banner I wave even when battles rage around me. I am yours, and you are mine, forever. So here I am, again and again present, surrendered, listening, waiting not for perfection, but for presence, not for arrival, but for abiding, not for achievement, but for alignment. For every breath I have left on this earth, let it be spent in the pursuit of your heart. Let it be offered freely back to you, the one who gave me breath in the first place. Lord, strip away every lesser ambition that tries to crowd you out. Remove every distraction that dims my gaze. Silence every voice that competes with yours. Let me be a person of one thing singular in devotion, undivided in love, unwavering in loyalty to the one who first loved me. I do not want divided affections. I do not want a lukewarm heart. I want to burn with holy fire until the end of my days. Kindle that fire again, God. Stoke it when it flickers under the winds of discouragement. Feed it with your word when my hunger fades. Fan it into flame through encounters with your spirit so real that they mark me forever. Let every day with you add fuel to the fire, not dampen it. Let intimacy with you be my daily bread, not a rare feast reserved for desperate moments. Teach me the humility to depend on you moment by moment. Teach me the courage to say yes, even when fear howls in my ears. Teach me the wisdom to discern the season I am in and the faith to trust that every season, the sowing and the reaping, the pruning and the blooming, the wilderness and the promised land is orchestrated by your hand of goodness. And when my heart longs for shortcuts, when impatience tries to hijack the journey, remind me that rushed growth is shallow growth, that what is birthed prematurely cannot carry the weight of the glory you intend, that roots grow strongest in hidden seasons, that character is forged in the unseen, that deep wells are dug slowly, patiently, painfully, but they hold water that lasts through every drought. So let me not resist the hidden seasons. Let me not despise the days of small beginnings. Let me find you in the places the world overlooks, in secret prayer closets, in unnoticed acts of love, in whispered prayers of surrender, in unseen sacrifices offered quietly in faith. You see it all, Lord. You delight in it all. You bottle every tear. You treasure every yes. You sing over every step of obedience, even the ones that feel small and insignificant to me. Your kingdom is built not by the flashy, but by the faithful. Let me be counted among the faithful. Build in me a resilience that is born from resting in you. Let my strength come not from striving harder, but from sinking deeper into your grace. Let my endurance come not from stubborn will, but from surrendered worship. Let my courage flow not from confidence in myself, but from absolute confidence in the one who goes before me, stands beside me, and guards behind me. And when opposition comes, as it surely will teach me to respond not with retaliation, but with radical love. When accusations fly, let my defense be the gentleness of Christ. When rejection stings, let my refuge be the arms of my Abba Father. When betrayal cuts deep, let forgiveness flow like a river that refuses to run dry. Let me love not because others deserve it, but because you deserve it. Let me be marked by love so profound that the world takes notice not to admire me, but to wonder about the source. Let them see the overflow of a heart captured by mercy. Let them taste the goodness of a life surrendered to grace. Let them encounter the aroma of heaven through the fragrance of my ordinary days given wholly to you. Let me be a carrier of hope in hopeless places. Let me be a voice of peace in the midst of chaos. Let me be a reflection of light where darkness has long claimed dominion. Not by might, not by power, but by your Spirit alive within me. And in those moments when my own heart feels faint, when grief floods like a storm, when disappointment knocks the wind from my lungs, when loneliness presses heavy against my chest, be the lifter of my head. Be the steadying hand beneath my trembling soul. Be the song that rises even from broken places. Remind me that brokenness is not the end. It is the beginning. That surrender is not defeat. It is victory. That weakness is not failure. It is an invitation for your strength to be made perfect. Let me find the treasure buried in the fields of sorrow. Let me find your fingerprints even on the pages I would rather have skipped. Let me trust that nothing, not one moment, not one mistake, not one heartache will be wasted in your hands. You are the master weaver, threading beauty through brokenness, spinning redemption from ruins, birthing new life from barren places. And if I must walk through fire, let it be the fire that refines. If I must walk through valleys, let it be the valley where I find you closer than ever before. Let every trial drive me deeper into your love. Let every loss anchor me firmer in your promises. Let every unanswered prayer stretch my faith wider. Let every season, the joyful and the sorrowful alike, become another chapter of your goodness written across the pages of my life. And through it all, let my heart stay tender, my hands stay open, my spirit stay willing. Let me never settle for shallow waters when you are calling me into the depths. Let me never exchange the eternal for the temporary, the sacred for the superficial, the lasting joy of intimacy for the fleeting thrill of lesser loves. Keep me close, Lord. Keep me clinging. Keep me undone and remade again and again in the safety of your love. Keep me desperate not for blessings, but for more of you. Keep me leaning not on my own understanding, but on the everlasting arms that have never failed and never will. Here I am, Lord, still surrendered, still longing, still reaching for more of you. Even now, my heart beats this prayer. More of you, less of me. More of your presence filling every hollow space. More of your truth rewriting every broken narrative. More of your love flooding every hidden corner of fear. Lord, fill me beyond the limits of what I think I can contain. Pour into every dry place. Flood every deserted valley. Rain down on every field that has waited in silent hope for too long. Let your Spirit drench the weary soil of my soul until flowers bloom where only dust remained. Until laughter rises where mourning once lived. Until songs of deliverance burst forth where silence once held sway. I do not want a trickle of your presence. I long for a flood. I do not want a glimpse of your glory. I ache for an immersion. Immerse me, Father, until every word I speak carries the weight of heaven, until every step I take leaves footprints of grace, until every heartbeat echoes your own. And as you fill me, let me be emptied for others. Let me be a vessel poured out daily in love. Let my hands serve without reservation. Let my lips bless without hesitation. Let my heart break for what breaks yours and rejoice for what brings you joy. Let me not hold tightly to anything you ask me to release, but instead offer it back with open hands, trusting that you will multiply whatever is surrendered in faith. Teach me, even more, to live light unencumbered by the worries of this world, unchained from the need for constant validation. Teach me to live simple, stripped down to what truly matters, loving you, loving people, making much of your name. Every other ambition fades in the light of that holy purpose. Guard me from bitterness when the journey winds longer than expected. Guard me from cynicism when prayers are answered differently than I imagined. Guard me from pride when blessings overflow. Keep my heart low before you, whether I stand in the sunlight of celebration or sit in the shadows of suffering. And Father, on the days when my faith feels fragile, when doubt scratches at the edges of belief, hold me steady. Teach me that fragile faith is still faith. Teach me that mustard seeds move mountains. Teach me that what matters is not the size of my faith, but the strength of the one I place it in. And you are unshakable, unchangeable, unstoppable. You are enough, even when my faith feels small. So here in the tension between belief and becoming, between hope and hardship, between dreams and delays, I choose again. I choose you. I choose trust over fear. I choose surrender over striving. I choose worship over worry. I choose to plant my feet on the solid ground of your promises and lift my hands in the face of the unknown, declaring that you are faithful still. And Lord, in the places where dreams have died, I ask you to breathe again. Breathe resurrection life into the visions I buried out of disappointment. Breathe hope into the callings I shelved out of fear. Breathe new beginnings where all I see is the end. Because you're the God who brings beauty from ashes, who brings gardens from graves, who calls things that are not as though they are. Let hope rise like the morning sun, unstoppable, undeniable, illuminating every dark place with the certainty that you are still writing my story. That the ink of redemption never runs dry. That the author of my faith has not dropped the pen. That the potter has not abandoned the clay. That the shepherd has not forgotten even one sheep. Even when my story doesn't unfold the way I pictured, remind me that your imagination for my life is infinitely greater than my own. Your plans are woven with threads of eternal glory that my finite mind could never fully grasp. And so I will trust the hand that holds me, even when I cannot see the road ahead. I will walk by faith, not by sight. I will worship while I wait. I will believe while I bleed. I will cling while I climb. I will sow in tears and trust that I will reap in joy, because you have promised, and your promises do not fail. Father, burn away every fear that tells me I am alone. Silence every lie that whispers that my prayers are unheard. Crush every doubt that says my obedience is in vain. Drown out the enemy's accusations with the song of your steadfast love that sings over me even now. Teach me to live with open hands even when it hurts. Teach me to give thanks in every circumstance, not for every circumstance, but because you are present in them all. Teach me to lean into you when the path is dark, knowing that even darkness is as light to you. You have never abandoned me. You have been present in every wilderness, every exile, every silent night, every broken dream. You were there when the world crumbled. You were there when the door slammed shut. You were there when I had nothing left but the faint whisper of Jesus from my trembling lips, and you answered. You always answer. Maybe not always how I expected. Maybe not always on my timetable. But always better. Always deeper. Always in a way that draws me closer to you, which is the real miracle after all. So continue your work in me, Lord. Refine me. Stretch me. Shape me into a vessel fit for your glory. Make my life a living testimony, not of my strength, but of your sustaining grace. Let others look at me and see evidence that you are real, that you are kind, that you are near to the brokenhearted and mighty to save. And when I fall short, because I will let me fall into your mercy, not into despair. Let grace catch me again and again. Let forgiveness wash over me like a river, wider and deeper than all my failures combined. Let the story of my life be one of relentless redemption, of unearned favor, of stubborn joy that refused to die. Because you are not finished with me yet. Your spirit still hovers over the chaos, still speaks light into darkness, still breathes life into dust. Your word still goes forth and does not return void. Your love still conquers fear. Your grace still levels mountains. Your resurrection power still empties tombs. And today, Lord, I lean into that truth with everything I have. I lay down the weight of yesterday. I release the fear of tomorrow. I step fully into the grace of this moment, where you are, where mercy meets me afresh, where love sings over my soul and calls me forward into the fullness of life you have prepared. And as I step into this moment with open hands and an expectant heart, I welcome whatever you have prepared. I do not demand to understand. I only ask for the grace to trust. I do not insist on my way. I only long to walk in yours. Let me, Lord, lead me through open fields and thorny thickets alike. Let me through sunshine and through storms. Let me with a whisper or with a shout, with a nudge or with a flood. Just don't let me move without you. I would rather walk blindfolded through wilderness with you than sprint unaided through gardens without you. I would rather stumble clumsily after your footsteps than run swiftly in my own wisdom. Your nearness is my good. Your presence is my victory. Your voice is my compass, my anchor, my home. Shape my desires, Lord. Make me want what you want, love what you love, hate what you hate. Break my heart for what breaks yours. Not so I can carry unbearable sorrow, but so I can carry unbearable compassion. Let my life not be a monument to comfort, but a testament to the weight of eternal things. Let me live aware that every breath I take has kingdom potential, that every moment surrendered is a seed sown in eternity. Wake me up, God, from the slumber of distraction. Wake me up from the anesthesia of comfort and ease. Shake me free from the chains of passivity. Ignite a holy urgency in me that refuses to waste the short vapor of a life I have been given. Every day is a gift. Every hour an invitation. Every heartbeat a chance to love you more. Let me not waste it on lesser pursuits. And when I'm tempted to give up, when discouragement crouches at the door, when weariness threatens to pull me under, when the enemy whispers that it's not worth it, remind me of the cross. Remind me that you did not turn back. Remind me that you endured for the joy set before you. Remind me that love never quits, that grace never runs out, that redemption stories are always still being written. Strengthen me to persevere, Lord. Teach me to suffer well, not with bitterness, but with blessedness. Teach me to endure not with gritted teeth, but with lifted hands. Teach me to count it all joy when I face trials, not because pain is good, but because you are good even in pain, because you use what the enemy meant for evil and turn it for good, because you waste nothing, not even the tears, not even the ashes. Refine my motives, God. Peel away every selfish ambition disguised as service. Strip me of every hidden agenda. Purify my intentions until they shine with a single desire to make you known, to lift you high, to love you purely. Burn away anything in me that seeks my own kingdom instead of yours. I do not want to touch your glory, I only want to reflect it. Let humility be my hallmark. Let servant-heartedness be my legacy. Let the fragrance of Christ cling to every word, every glance, every footprint I leave behind. Let me decrease so that you may increase. Let my life be a window, not a mirror, transparent, clear, so that when people look at me, they see straight through to you. And when I fall short, when pride sneaks in, when impatience flares up, when love grows cold, lead me quickly back to repentance. Let my heart stay soft. Let conviction be swift. Let the journey from brokenness to surrender be shorter and shorter each time. Because your mercy is not just for my worst days, it is my daily bread. Your grace is not just a safety net, it is the very ground I walk upon. Breathe on the embers of my first love, Lord. Fan into flame again the awe I felt when I first encountered your presence. Let the familiarity of faith never dull the wonder of who you are. Let my soul tremble with holy reverence every time I speak your name. Let my heart beat faster at the thought of your goodness. Let tears rise easily when I remember all you have done, all you are doing, all you have promised yet to do. I do not want a faith that plateaus. I do not want a heart that hardens. I do not want a love that cools. Keep me burning. Lord, keep me burning through the long nights, through the slow seasons, through the silent stretches where your voice seems faint, but your faithfulness stands firm. Keep me burning when the crowd leaves, when the applause fades, when the cost is high and the road is lonely. Keep me burning because you are worthy, and teach me to love your people. We're not just the easy ones, not just the ones who think like me or live like me or believe like me. Teach me to love the broken, the messy, the inconvenient. Teach me to love the ones who have nothing to offer me in return. Teach me to love as you love without condition, without calculation, without fear. Let compassion carve deep wells in me. Let empathy soften my words and widen my arms. Let kindness color every interaction. Let forgiveness be the rhythm of my relationships, as steady and natural as breathing. Let mercy triumph over judgment every single time, because mercy triumphed over judgment for me. Father, weave your character into the very fabric of my being until I cannot be separated from it, until loving becomes instinctual, forgiving becomes natural, serving becomes joyful, giving becomes delightful, and worship becomes the atmosphere I breathe. Until my life, every piece of it, every second of it becomes a living, breathing declaration of your endless grace. Lord, stitch patience into my restless places. Teach me to wait not with gritted teeth, but with open hands, not with tapping feet, but with bowed heart. Waiting with you is not empty. It is where transformation is born, where roots grow deep and unshakable, where unseen miracles prepare to break through the surface. Let me learn to cherish the hidden work you do in the waiting seasons, when the soil of trust is tilled quietly in the dark. Shape in me a heart that treasures process as much as promise, a heart that doesn't despise the slow, sacred unfolding of your plans. A heart that finds joy not just at the finish line, but in every surrendered step along the way. Because it is not in arrival that life is found, it is in abiding, in traveling this road with you, step by holy step, breath by grace-filled breath. Let my soul not grow impatient with your pace, Lord. You are not slow as I count slowness. You are precise. Every delay is designed. Every detour has meaning. Every pause is pregnant with purpose. What feels like silence is often the symphony of your preparation, tuning my heart to hear the next movement you will orchestrate. Give me eyes to see beyond the present moment, eyes that glimpse eternity in the ordinary, eyes that recognize that today's obedience writes tomorrow's testimony, that today's surrender births tomorrow's harvest, that today's faithfulness lays stones in the pathway of glory that will echo long after my footsteps fade. Let me not be one who starts fast and finishes weak. Let perseverance be woven into my spirit like steel tempered by fire. Let me be one who still worships in winter, who still prays in drought, who still hopes when the night is long and no dawn seems near. Let me be one who, by your grace, crosses the finish line with arms lifted high, whispering even with my final breath, "You are faithful." And Father, even as you deepen endurance within me, enlarge my heart with compassion for those still finding their way. Let me be a gentle guide, not a harsh critic. Let me lift the fallen, not step over them. Let me walk slower if it means walking beside someone who needs encouragement. Let me listen longer, speak less, and love more. Let me choose understanding over assumption, grace over judgment, empathy over indifference. Remind me that every soul I encounter carries a story you are still writing. Teach me to treat each person as sacred ground, not because of their perfection, but because they are made in your image, loved beyond measure, pursued by relentless mercy. Teach me that my assignment is never to fix, but to love, never to dominate, but to serve, never to elevate myself, but to lift others higher. Let every relationship in my life become a garden where your fruit grows. Let patience, kindness, humility, gentleness, and self-control flourish because your spirit tills the soil of my heart. Pull up the weeds of selfishness, resentment, envy, and pride. Water me daily with the truth of your word until my branches bear fruit that nourishes the souls around me. And when the inevitable misunderstandings come, when the hurt sneaks in, when words wound, when distance creeps between once closed hearts, give me the humility to forgive quickly, the wisdom to seek reconciliation earnestly, the courage to love without walls. Let me be one who builds bridges, not barriers. Let me be one who covers faults with grace, who bears burdens with tenderness, who reflects the endless forgiveness that was first lavished upon me. Father, breathe fresh boldness into my faith. Not the boldness that demands attention, but the boldness that dares to believe you in the face of impossibility. Boldness to pray audacious prayers. Boldness to love radically. Boldness to give generously. Boldness to stand firm in truth when compromise whispers. Boldness to walk on water when you call, eyes locked on your face, unafraid of the waves beneath. And when I sink because I know there will be days, let me reach immediately for your hand. Let me remember that failure is not falling. It is refusing to get back up. That grace is not for the strong, but for the humble. That you're not measuring how few mistakes I make, but how quickly I run back into your arms. Raise up in me a spirit of resilience, birthed not from stubbornness, but from surrender. Teach me that true strength comes from knowing how desperately I need you. That true courage comes from clinging to the cross when everything else is stripped away. That true victory is resting in the arms of the Savior who already won. Let my voice be one that speaks life wherever it is heard. Words that heal, not hurt. Words that call out destiny, not diminish it. Words that build, not break. Let my speech be seasoned with salt, carrying the weight of wisdom, dripping with mercy, rich with encouragement. Let those who hear me walk away lighter, stronger, freer, more hopeful than before. Let my prayers reach further than my own needs. Teach me to labor in prayer for the lost, for the lonely, for the overlooked, for the brokenhearted. Teach me to pray until chains fall off others, not just myself. Teach me the power of intercession to stand in the gap with fierce love and unwavering faith, believing for miracles on behalf of those too weary to believe for themselves. And when answers delay, when breakthrough tarries, when healing seems slow in coming, let me not grow weary in doing good. Let me not lose heart in the waiting. Let me fix my eyes on Jesus, the pioneer and perfecter of faith, who for the joy set before him endured the cross, scorning its shame, and sat down at the right hand of the throne of God. Father, teach me to number my days that I may gain a heart of wisdom. Teach me to live as one who knows that each sunrise is a gift, each encounter an opportunity, each moment a thread in the grand tapestry you are weaving. Let me not waste my life chasing vapor, but invest it wholly in the kingdom that will never fade. Let my days be spent chasing after your heart. Let my nights be filled with whispered prayers and dreams of heaven. Let my hands grow callous from serving, not grasping. Let my knees grow calloused from kneeling, not from chasing what cannot satisfy. Let my soul grow soft, tender, pliable in the hands of my Maker. And through it all, through triumph and trial, laughter and lament, mountaintops and valleys, let my life sing one song. Worthy is the Lamb who is slain. Let that anthem be the undercurrent of every word, every deed, every breath, until my final breath leads me into the unbroken worship of eternity. And if my voice should ever falter, if my strength should ever fail, let my spirit still whisper that truth into the heavens. Worthy is the Lamb. Even when tears blur my vision, even when weariness weighs heavy on my frame, even when answers seem distant and doors remain closed, still my heart will echo, worthy, faithful, true, because you, Lord, are not worthy because of what you give. You are worthy because of who you are. You are the unchanging one, the Ancient of Days, the Alpha and Omega, who holds time itself in your hands, yet stoops low to cradle my heart in yours. How could I not surrender everything to you? How could I not trust you with every piece of this fragile life you so tenderly redeem? So I give you this day all its unknowns, all its interruptions, all its imperfect attempts to reflect your love. I give you my future, all its dreams, all its detours, all its divine surprises I cannot yet see. I give you my past, all its wounds, all its wonders, all its whispered lessons that shaped me even when I didn't understand. I give you my now, this breath, this heartbeat, this longing moment heavy with the weight of your presence. Let your dreams for my life be bigger than mine. Let your plans for my journey unfold in ways I never dared to imagine. Let the steps I take today be ordered not by fear, not by impulse, not by ambition, but by the quiet, confident leading of your Spirit. Even if those steps lead me into valleys, into hidden places, into stretches of silence where only trust can grow if you are there. Then it is holy ground. And when the world clamors for urgency, for hustle, for endless proving of worth, teach me to live from a deeper place, the unhurried pace of grace, the steady rhythm of a heart yoked to yours, the quiet assurance that I have nothing to prove because you have already proclaimed it finished. Teach me that my identity is not rooted in what I achieve, but in the unshakable truth that I am yours. In a loud rush of voices, tune my ears to the gentle whisper of your love. Let me hear your delight in the rustle of the leaves, in the song of the morning birds, in the quiet of my soul when I dare to slow down enough to listen. Let my spirit grow so attuned to your presence that even in chaos, I find myself anchored, unshaken, held by hands that do not tremble. O Lord, make me fearless not because I am mighty, but because you are. Fearless not in recklessness, but in rootedness. Fearless not because storms won't come, but because I know who commands the winds and the waves. Fearless to love the ones the world says are unlovable. Fearless to forgive the ones who may never say sorry. Fearless to hope when cynicism feels safer. Fearless to dream when disappointment has taught me otherwise. Baptize me again in wonder, Lord. Awaken awe in the ordinary. Let the sunrise stop me in my tracks. Let the laughter of a child remind me of eternity's joy. Let the tears of repentance feel like rain washing my soul clean again and again. Let me never graduate from gratitude. Let me never outgrow the mystery of mercy. And let me live as one who knows these truths not in arrogant boasting, but in humble boldness. Not in self-righteousness, but in Christ righteousness. Not in striving for approval, but in standing firm in adoption. Let the world see not a perfect person, but a perfectly loved one. A pilgrim still on the journey, yet daily drawn deeper into the arms of perfect love. And when the temptation to give up creeps in, when the mountain feels too high, the night too long, the silence too suffocating, remind me again of all the times you carried me through what I thought would crush me. Remind me of the seas you split, the giants you felled, the prisons you unlocked. Remind me that what once seemed impossible is now a memory of your faithfulness written on the walls of my heart. You have never left me, not once. Even when I ran, even when I doubted, even when I wept in unbelief, you were there, waiting, patient, kind. You are the God who finishes what he starts. And you're not done with me yet. Let hope rise again and again, like tides pulled by the gravity of your promises. Let it crash against the rocky shores of fear and wash them smooth with persistence. Let it rise higher than my doubts, stronger than my weariness, brighter than any darkness that dares encroach upon the territory you have claimed. And because your nearness is my good, Lord, I will seek it above all else. Above success, above security, above human approval or fleeting comfort. Let the cry of my heart each morning be simply this: draw me nearer, God. Draw me deeper into your heart. Draw me closer into your presence, where every fear dissolves and every striving ceases. And when the day brings its battles, when temptations whisper, when distractions clamor for my attention, when the demands of life press heavy, anchor me again in the simplicity of first love. Teach me that the most productive thing I can do is to sit at your feet, that the greatest victory I can win is surrender, that the highest calling I can answer is to abide. When my hands grow weary, let them not reach first for solutions, but for your hand. When my mind spins with anxious thoughts, let first be still and remember your faithfulness. When my heart feels overwhelmed, teach me to run first to the refuge of your presence, not to fleeting comforts that only leave me emptier. You are the river that never runs dry, the bread that satisfies every hunger, the light that no darkness can extinguish, the shepherd who knows every crack and crevice of my heart, yet chooses still to lead me gently home. And so I trust you not just with the mountaintops, but with the valleys, not just with the victories, but with the wounds, not just with the dreams fulfilled, but with the disappointments endured. You waste nothing. You redeem everything. Every broken piece surrendered becomes a mosaic more beautiful than anything I could have built in my own strength. Teach me to trust your hand when it takes, just as I trust it when it gives. Teach me to bless your name in the breaking, not just in the blessing. Teach me to recognize that even in the pruning, even in the discipline, even in the deep unmaking, your heart toward me never changes. It beats steady with love, unwavering, unrelenting, unshakable. Carve your truth deeper into me, Lord. Engrave it on the walls of my heart with the fire of your Spirit, so that when lies come dressed as logic, when doubts masquerade as wisdom, when fear wears the mask of caution, I will not be moved. I will stand on the unshakable rock of your word, on the eternal foundation of your promises, on the relentless constancy of your character. And even when the storms come, because they will let my roots sink deeper still, let the rain drive me further into the soil of your love. Let the winds press me closer against the shelter of your wings. Let the thunder remind me of your power and the lightning of your glory. Let the dark clouds only make me cherish more the brightness of your face when it breaks through again. Teach me to dance even with tears in my eyes. Teach me to sing even when my voice cracks with sorrow. Teach me to hope even when the landscape of my life feels barren and dry. Teach me to believe stubbornly, fiercely, against all odds, not in the absence of hardship, but in the absolute certainty of your goodness. Because you are good, always, unchanging, not good because of circumstances, not good because of outcomes, not good because of my feelings or my understanding, but good because that is who you are eternally, immutably, forever. And because you are good, I can rest, not in resignation, but in assurance, not giving up, but giving over. Let rest not be the absence of action, but the presence of trust. Let me move through life from a posture of deep, unshakable rest in you, working, serving, loving, but never striving to earn what has already been freely given. Let my rest be radical in a world addicted to hustle. Let my peace be profound in a culture obsessed with noise. Let my stillness be a testimony to the reality of a God who is always at work, even when I am not. And as I walk in this holy rhythm of abiding, let the fruit of the Spirit flourish in my life like never before. Let love be my native language. Let joy be my constant melody. Let peace guard my heart and mind. Let patience stretch wider than my own limitations. Let kindness flow naturally from my actions. Let goodness shape my every decision. Let faithfulness define my path. Let gentleness soften even my hardest days. Let self-control be a river of strength running steady beneath the surface. Grow me, Father, not upward for show, but downward for stability. Grow me deep so that when the winds come, I do not topple. Grow me strong so that when others lean on me for strength, they find not the brittle branches of self-effort, but the solid oak of Christ within me. Grow me wise, not in the ways of the world, but in the ways of heaven, wisdom that begins and ends with the fear of the Lord, wisdom that produces humility, purity, and peace. And in the secret places where no one sees, in the quiet soil of my unseen prayers, my hidden sacrifices, my invisible obediences, let there be much growth. Let there be gardens bursting into bloom, tended by your hands, watered by your Spirit, bearing fruit that only eternity will fully reveal. Father, if ever I am tempted to measure success by anything other than faithfulness, remind me that what matters most is not how high I climb, but how low I bow. Not how much I gain, but how freely I give. Not how many know my name, but how many know yours because of how I loved. Let love be my legacy. Let grace be my signature. Let forgiveness be my anthem. Let humility be my crown. Let Christ be my everything. And if ever my hands tremble to carry that legacy, Lord, strengthen them. Strengthen my arms to hold the burdens of others without growing weary. Strengthen my back to stand firm under the weight of calling. Strengthen my knees to bend low in prayer before I ever rise in action. Strengthen my voice to declare your goodness, even when the winds howl louder than my own hope. And Father, when days feel long and nights stretch endless, remind me that you are the keeper of the clock and the writer of the seasons. You waste no waiting. You squander no silent prayers. You bottle every tear and sow every groan into the soil of eternity, where no labor of love, no whisper of worship, no offering of obedience is ever in vain. Teach me to lean into the slowness of your process without resentment. Teach me to treasure the mystery of your timing without demanding answers. Teach me to embrace the detours and delays as divinely appointed opportunities to trust you more deeply, love you more fully, and resemble you more closely. Let my journey with you be marked not by how quickly I arrive, but by how closely I walk. Let it be defined not by the milestones I reach, but by the moments I surrendered. Let the measure of my life not be accomplishments achieved, but Christ-likeness attained, layer by layer, surrender by surrender, breath by sacred breath. Father, as you continue your work in me, remind me that even now, even today, you are preparing tables before me in the presence of my enemies. You are anointing my head with oil. You are filling my cup to overflowing. You are writing goodness and mercy into the script of my story in ways I cannot yet fathom. And when fear tries to shout that I am abandoned, when shame tries to whisper that I am disqualified, when sorrow tries to silence my song, I will lift up my eyes to the hills. From where does my help come? My help comes from the Lord, maker of heaven and earth, the one who does not slumber, the one who does not sleep, the one who holds the universe in place and still leans down to listen when I pray. So I will pray, Lord, not as a duty, but as a delight. I will pray not merely to receive, but to remain, not to persuade you, but to posture myself to trust you. Prayer is not my last resort. It is my first response. It is the oxygen of my spirit. It is the lifeline that connects earth to heaven, the bridge between weakness and strength, the meeting place of surrender and supply. Teach me to pray bold prayers that defy fear, prayers that demolish strongholds, prayers that birth breakthroughs. Teach me to pray persistent prayers that knock and keep knocking, that seek and keep seeking, that ask and keep asking, knowing that you are a good Father who delights to give good gifts to his children. Let prayer be the language I speak most fluently, the river I swim most easily, the battle I wage most passionately. Let every word I pray be steeped in Scripture, saturated with faith, soaked in expectation. Let my prayers weave heaven's agenda, into earth's realities. Let my prayers shake foundations, move mountains, open prisons, heal hearts, resurrect dreams. And when I cannot find the words, when my soul is too heavy for syllables, when my spirit can only groan, thank you for the Spirit who intercedes with sighs too deep for words. Thank you that even my silence is sacred when it is offered in surrender. Thank you that even my weakness becomes prayer when laid at your feet. Father, keep me close in the sacred secret place. Tuck me under the shadow of your wings. Shelter me from the storm, not by removing it, but by anchoring me in the eye of it. You are not the absence of trouble. You are the stillness within it. You are not the elimination of pain. You are the purpose that redeems it. Let your word be my sword and shield. Let it be honey to my lips and fire in my bones. Let it be the lamp to my feet when the way is dark, and the anchor to my soul when the tides rage. Let it be the mirror that shows me who I am not according to my frailty or failures, but according to your mercy and majesty. Let the promises you have spoken over me drown out every accusation the enemy hurls at me. Let the banner of your love flutter high above every battlefield I must walk through. Let your truth dismantle every lie that tries to entangle my feet or ensnare my heart. And in every season, in every circumstance, in every shadow, and on every summit, let me lift my eyes to the hills again and again, finding my help, finding my hope, finding my home in you alone. Even if the way grows steeper, even if the cost grows higher, even if the crowd thins and the applause fades, let my heart burn brighter. Let my love grow deeper. Let my faith rise higher. Let my spirit run faster toward you, the prize above all prizes, the treasure hidden in every trial, the joy set before me on every road. You are my portion. You are my inheritance. You are my exceeding great reward. You are the song I sing and the breath I breathe and the light that fills all my darkness with brilliant dawn. Lord, I have nothing to fear. No accusation can stick. No shame can linger. No past can disqualify. No storm can separate. I am engraved on the palms of your hands, hidden under the shadow of your wings, held in the everlasting arms that never grow weary. So let courage rise within me, not from my own strength, but from the unshakable certainty that you go before me. You stand behind me. You surround me on every side. I am never alone, never abandoned, never left to figure it out on my own. You are the shepherd who leads, the shield who defends, the strong tower into which I run and find refuge. Teach me to live each moment aware of your presence. Let your nearness be my atmosphere. Your voice be the song that plays louder than the noise of the world. Your heartbeat be the drum that sets the rhythm for my every step. Let me breathe prayer like oxygen, move in mercy like muscle memory, think in truth like second nature. Root me so deeply in your love that nothing shakes me. Let criticism glance off the armor of my identity in Christ. Let disappointment lose its sting in the light of eternity. Let comparison crumble before the wonder that you crafted me fearfully, wonderfully, uniquely for such a time as this. Let my confidence not be in my gifts, my reputation, or my plans, but in the one who holds every breath, numbers every hair, and charts every star across the infinite canvas of the sky. If you can call galaxies by name, surely you can guide the simple, surrendered life of one willing heart. So here I am again, God wholly surrendered, wholly available. Use me in whatever way brings you glory. If it is through the quiet kindness no one sees, let me be faithful there. If it is through prayers whispered in secret closets, let me be faithful there. If it is through great risks that require boldness beyond my nature, fill me with courage beyond my understanding. I don't need to understand the path ahead. I only need to know you are leading it. I don't need a map. I have the guide. I don't need to predict the future. I have the one who already inhabits it. My times are in your hands, and there is no safer place for them to be. And if the path leads through loss, through change, through letting go of what once felt secure, then let my heart still bless your name. Teach me that pruning is not punishment, but preparation. That surrender is not the loss of life, but the doorway into it. That what you remove, you replace with better. That what you call me to release is only making room for what I could not yet carry. Carve me a heart that trusts you even when your hand moves in ways I do not understand. Shape me into one who worships even when my world shakes. Form me into one who hopes when others despair, who loves when others hate, who serves when others demand. Let my joy be stubborn. Let my peace be defiant against anxiety. Let my faith be unyielding to doubt. Let my love be extravagant without caution or calculation. Let my life be so intertwined with yours that when others look at me, they see the unmistakable fingerprints of heaven upon everything I touch. Father, ignite in me a passion that outlives every disappointment, outshines every dark day, outlasts every trial. Let it be the kind of holy fire that cannot be quenched by circumstances, by critics, or by weariness. Let it burn brighter the longer the night, fiercer the harder the battle, sweeter the deeper the sorrow, because it is not a fire I must sustain, it is a fire you have lit, and you are faithful to keep it burning. And even if the world never applauds it, even if no book is written, no microphone handed, no spotlight shined, let my heart be content to know that you see it, that you smile over it, that you delight in a heart fully yielded, fully trusting, fully alive in you. Teach me to measure success by obedience, not outcomes. To measure value by intimacy, not influence. To measure impact by eternal fruit, not fleeting fame. Let me be rich not in possessions, but in love, not in accolades, but in holiness, not in comfort, but in conformity to Christ. And when the day comes, whether soon or many years from now, when I see you face to face, let me not arrive empty-handed, but with a life poured out like a fragrant offering. Let me bring you a harvest of faithfulness. Let me lay down a crown woven not of achievements, but of surrender, not of power, but of love, not of fame, but of your faithfulness reflected in one simple, willing heart. Until that day, Lord, keep me steadfast. Keep me surrendered. Keep me singing. Keep me believing that you are better than life itself, more precious than breath, more real than the ground beneath my feet. Let my life say what my words sometimes fail to express, that you are worthy of it all. Every dream, every sacrifice, every tear, every hallelujah whispered through cracked lips. You are worthy, always worthy, infinitely worthy. So here I remain, Lord, no looking back, no turning aside, no shrinking away. Eyes on you, heart set like flint toward your purposes, feet ready to walk wherever you call, hands open to receive and to give, spirit yielded to be molded like clay in the hands of the master potter. You are the treasure hidden in every field. You are the pearl of great price worth selling everything to gain. You are the one thing necessary, the better portion that will never be taken away. You are the song of my soul and the strength of my life and the reason for every breath that fills these lungs. Beloved friends, as we come to the close of this sacred time together, I want to thank you from the depths of my heart for joining in this journey of prayer. Your presence here is not by accident, it is a divine appointment. Every whisper of your heart, every silent tear, every word spoken or unspoken has been heard by the God who bends low to listen. I invite you to continue sharing your prayers, your hopes, your burdens, and your victories. This is a space where we lift one another up, where no voice is too small, no story too broken, no prayer too simple for the throne of grace. Whether shouted in joy or whispered in trembling faith, every prayer matters. Every prayer moves heaven. Thank you for opening your heart, for pressing in, for choosing to believe with me that God is faithful, that His promises endure, and that His love never fails. Your faith, even the size of a mustard seed, carries the power to move mountains. Your persistence in prayer plants seeds in the unseen that will one day burst forth into a harvest beyond anything you could imagine. As you leave this moment of prayer, I encourage you to carry the atmosphere of faith with you into every part of your day. Let prayer be the rhythm of your steps, the breath of your conversations, the melody behind every moment. Let it weave into your ordinary until it transforms it into the extraordinary. Never underestimate the power of a praying heart. Never forget that you walk with the Almighty beside you, within you, and before you. And know that you are never alone. We are a community of faith, standing together, believing together, and lifting each other up before the throne of grace. Thank you once again for being here. Keep pressing in. Keep hoping boldly. Keep praying fearlessly. Our God hears. Our God moves. And our God is faithful. Always. Be blessed. Stay encouraged. And may your life continue to be a living prayer, a testament to His endless love and everlasting faithfulness.